Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. All right, you guys, first story up. Let's start with old trifling, old nasty story, y'all. Let's talk about this sex tape. It's not even a sex tape, but this video of your boy TreySongz getting a BJ from some unsuspecting girl that has leaked. Some say that TreySongz is the one that leaked it. I'm not quite sure if he did or didn't. However, it did show up on social media the other day. Okay. And I guess I say unsuspecting girl, but maybe not so unsuspecting because she knew she was being recorded and she probably didn't know that it would end up on social media though. But yeah, you guys, somebody did tweet the video to me, and you guys know because I am responsible for reporting what is going on in them streets, I had to go make sure that I saw the video. Are you guys sure that that is TreySongz? I mean, the video is dark, granted. It's not a good quality video. They were in a dark room, obviously. So he was probably holding the phone, whoever the man is, okay, we're gonna say that it's TreySongz. He's holding the phone, and so it's just a little spotlight that's on the girl, all right? But the ding-ding, y'all, the ding-ding was dark. You know, I know that some men have darker dings when they're light skinned and they're, you know, I got all that. But I was like, that looked like a dark black guy. Like, not a TreySongz, but then I was looking at it now. Y'all listen, I had to study. I don't really care about like actual ding shots. Like I done told you guys that I actually like to see like imprints more. Real imprints. Don't be coming with no fucking water bottle in your pants trying to say, some fake dildo in your pants or some shit. So when I see like the actual, sometimes it's a little bit too graphic for me. And I'm not even a big blowjob fan. Like, I mean, I do it because it's a means to an end, but it ain't my favorite thing, so I don't get nothing out of seeing blowjobs, So I just honestly was only looking at the picture just so I could look at the ding so that I could explain it to you. And what I saw was that it's dark, but it's nice, y'all. I mean, it's a good size. I mean, everybody was like, maybe that's why he calls himself Mr. Steal Your Girl. And, the neighbors know his name and all of that, ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum. TreySongz has been in the news a lot lately, and not because of his singing. Maybe that's because his albums, nobody wants to buy that shit no more. So now we're resorting to getting into fights at football games and leaking tapes of us having sex. Is that what we've reduced ourselves to? I hope not. But yeah, it's just every week it's been something with old Trey. It's been something. So did you guys get a good look-see at the video? Did you see it? Maybe I should ask my girls and some of my guys that might want to comment. What did you guys think? Didn't that shit look dark to you? Did y'all think that was his? Okay, you guys, I'm gonna try to jump around so that all of the good stories aren't in the first half, and then just the okay stories are in the second half. So let me just hop around. Congratulations are in order to Ryan Coogler. He is he was the director for the movie Black Panther. And we know after we lost Chadwick Boseman to colon cancer last year, there was a lot of talk about whether or not they would continue on the franchise Black Panther. Many people did not want that because nobody could imagine anybody playing T'Challa other than Chadwick Boseman. It was a tricky place for the Marvel comics to be in. Even though in the comic books, there were quite a few different kings, most people don't follow the comic books. And most people just know what they feel emotionally is that they don't want to see anybody else in that position. Even though there was some talk about possibly putting his sister in, they've decided that they're not going to recast T'Challa at all. I do believe that there will still be another Black Panther movie, and I think that the sister is going to be a big part of that, but I still don't know exactly how they're going to do it. But many people who are fans of the movie might be happy in knowing that there's going to be a Black Panther television show on Disney Plus, and that Ryan Coogler will still be heading that with his company, Proximity Media. He and a group of other people run that company, and they are going to be providing us with a drama, for Black Panther. It's a 5-year deal. They also are going to be having other projects that'll be coming through Disney Plus, but this is like a big opportunity for Ryan Coogler to continue on that Black Panther storyline that so many people are going to be missing because, they feel like the movie has to be protected. So it's coming on Disney Plus, which is good. Disney Plus, I'm telling you, all these streaming services are really coming up. And as they continue to come up, it makes me know more and more that the days of the movie theater are gone. We already know about the movie theaters that are struggling. People don't go to the movies anymore because of coronavirus. And although I am an avid moviegoer and I love going to the movie theaters, it makes me very sad to know that it'll be hard to get to these theaters. I imagine there'll still be a few, but nothing like it used to be. And because now streaming is the way, people can do it from the comfort of their homes. And they can pay for all these streaming services, or they already pay for half of these damn streaming services anyway, and now the movies are coming. So, and I don't know how that works out for actors and actresses and studios, and like if the pay is different if you're not a big name, if you're a big name, you're gonna get it. But if you're not, like, how does the pay structure happen for those? I have some actors in here, y'all let me know. Like, how does that work now when you're having to, deal with streaming services where I know they don't make the same amount of money as they made when people were actually going to the movies. So, that's another story for another day, another subject for another day. But if you know anything about it, y'all go on and talk about it below. But yeah, congratulations in order to Ryan Coogler. Black Panther, as well as many other projects from Coogler, will be coming to your home soon. All right, you guys, so KekeWyatt, Milan Christopher, Zelda Monster. It seems that they were all on a show. I guess it's a podcast called The Main T. And on this show, I guess Zelda Monster and Milan was going back and forth about a relationship that they had. I don't know. I didn't even really check that out because, Zell is for sure a clout chaser and always, so I didn't even pay attention to that. I only saw the clips really of KekeWyatt going off on Milan and him having this whole total look of confusion on his face. And so that's why I kind of listened in on this conversation. But basically, they were on this they were a panel. They were talking about, things that the Black people have been through, oppression. And Milan Christopher, I believe, was kind of listing off things that have happened to Black people. And KekeWyatt, for whatever reason, that day did not want to hear it. Okay. Now, the reason might be because KekeWyatt has not always, we don't want to call a lady crazy, but, Keke has not always operated on all the cylinders, it feels. And that we saw that as she's been on reality shows, and we was just like, oh, she's a little different. She's a little different. So she would loudly interrupt him. And I didn't get the verbatim, you guys, but basically what KekeWyatt was saying was that she's tired of hearing Black people's, niggas always talking about how they've been oppressed, that Black people are not the only group that have been oppressed. Look at the Jewish people, look at the other people that have also been oppressed. And she went on and on and on. She would not let Milan Christopher finish his thought. And she just really went off on him because she said that this was not the day. Her being a biracial person, she's tired of Black people just feeling like they're the only ones that are oppressed or the only ones that face racism and I'm thinking to myself, Keke, I don't know why people It's especially sad when Black people or people that we have brought into our Black fold, when they get a hold of these whataboutisms and want to start, forcing us to talk about other people that might be going through the same. Listen, we talking about Black people right now. We talking about Black people. We don't want to hear about no, but what about the Jewish and all that? We all know the Jews went through what they went through, and we know that the Mexicans went through what they went through and all this. We are talking about Black people right now. And I'm sorry, I don't think that any group is as oppressed consistently and even currently as Black people are. People want to forget about what Black people have been through in the past and what Black people continue to go through, because there have been some Black people that have escaped. They're saying, oh, Black people are doing good now. We look at LeBron James, look at the Black people that's out there that's making money. And, but we're talking about as a group, as a community, that there is still systematic racism that happens, and that Black people are the ones that are pushed down the furthest. We are on the lowest of the totem pole. So when KekeWyatt come in here and want to be arguing and fussing and fighting for everybody else, and saying that, she's tired of hearing Black people complain about how they've been oppressed. Well, we tired of complaining about it. We tired of it happening to us. Okay. And we tired of people trying to make us feel like we can't talk about it. That wasn't a good look for Keke, in my opinion. Because Black people don't like to see our own people. I don't want to see Black people telling me that Black people not oppressed, or that we don't have a right to feel the way that we feel. So yeah, not a good look for Keke, but I don't know. I mean, are we really listening to Keke when it comes to things like that? She's a tremendous talent when it comes to singing. I prefer to just hear Keke sing. So it's okay. That's how she feels. That's not what it is, but if that's her reality, then, but we know her reality has been a little different from ours for a long time now. So whatever. All right, you guys, so VH1 has sent a cease and desist to the streaming service Zeus, because they're saying that Zeus is stealing all of their characters and bringing them over to their streaming service for their own shows. And it is misrepresentative, because these people are, they're linked with VH1, and, they don't like that. They're saying that Zeus is purposely going after their characters to bring them over to their network. Now, I don't know. I didn't really check into the particulars of how this is legally something that they can do. I guess to me, it seems like it would depend on whether or not these people that they are carrying over to Zeus are contracted still with VH1. VH1... I don't know what the fuck has happened with VH1. I mean, they have fallen completely off. They have let all of their shows go. I mean, I guess Black Ink is still going on, and now I just see this morning Basketball Wives, they're putting so much stock into this show coming back. And part of it is, to me, I think, is because they really don't have any staple show to really focus their attention on. Black Ink, I don't know how much longer that shit is going to last. But then when you talk about Basketball Wives, where it was just so toxic, and like, I haven't watched it in years. I know you guys don't believe me when I say that, but I don't even know these new people. Like, I know about the OG situation only because it was all over the blogs, but I wouldn't recognize that girl if you sat her in front of me right now. Like, when I say I don't watch a show, like, I don't watch it, I don't pay attention to it, I don't know it. Somebody asked me about the Huntsville show. I was like, I don't know them people. I don't really know the people on Married to Medicine. Like, I don't even watch the Salt Lake City Real Housewives. I wouldn't know none of them girls. I don't even really like reality shows like that, except for the ones that I watch because I review it. But other than that, I don't watch reality shows. I don't know all these other people from all these other shows. So when people be telling me, so I'll be like, who is that? I don't know them. Kristen Scott. Look, now I got to look down because I don't know these people. Phoebe Torres. And then we've got some newcomers. They say Nia, Naraya, Dorsey, and Liza Morales. Okay. That show is coming back. They're all going to be in a mansion together, and they're going to be trying to work out their issues. They're saying like this is their last ditch effort because supposedly this is the last season. They've been saying that shit for the last 4 seasons, child. But supposedly this is the last season for them to try to, come to each other in peace and try to, let bygones be bygones and really have this sisterhood that they're in. So that's how they're billing the show. Okay. But yeah, I feel like they're putting a lot of stock in the basketball wives because they don't really have shit else. Like, how do you let Love and Hip Hop go? I still don't understand that. I mean, even though the show is bullshit and it's a whole bunch of stupidity and all of that, I mean, we was watching VH1 on Monday nights for 10 years, you guys. So now I guess they're frustrated that Zeus is getting a lot of the people from the VH1 shows and carrying it over. Like I said, I don't know how the contract reads, but it must have been loose enough where these people was kind of feeling like it was okay for them to go over to Zeus and do it. So we've had Ray and Prinky, have their conversation. We've had Diamonds and Pearls and Lyrica have their conversation. We've had Masika and Hazel Lee have their conversation. We have Jocelyn has her own show. The Cabaret. We've had, which one is it? Chance or True or Trent? I'm sorry, I'm not sure. I don't know which one that died, but the one who didn't die, who was from I Love New York, he had his own show on Zeus Network. And so they're saying that Zeus comes after them and tells them they can come over there and do whatever. And they don't like that. Okay. And, I mean, they have, and those people have been going because why not? I mean, I guess if you're going to pay me and, I can get some money off of this, especially with the Rona going and people weren't filming anything. So it's just sort of like, okay, let's do this if Zeus wants to do this. Okay. VH1 said, we don't like that shit, Zeus, stop it. We'll see what comes of that. But honey, Zeus has been full steam ahead and seemed to have been doing well enough. I never saw the conversation with, Lyrica and Diamonds and Pearls or Masika and Hazel Lee. I just saw the fight that Hazel Lee and Masika had. Other than that, I don't know. But yeah, you guys, people got to make their money. So I don't know if VH1 is going to be able to make make their case. But yeah, as of now, they're trying to stop them from doing it again. All right, you guys, rest in peace to Dustin Diamond. He died after just being diagnosed with lung cancer just last month, you guys. It hasn't even been a month late. I think it was 3 weeks ago. Technically, it's called small cell carcinoma. I think they only said that he only had one bout of chemo and that he died shortly after that. So, you ask people all the time, which one is harder, when somebody dies suddenly or when somebody dies after suffering from a long illness. I will never know the answer to that. It seems like they're both equally horrible to see somebody have to suffer, but then also just one day, a person that was here yesterday is gone tomorrow. Like, all of that is difficult to work through. This story is sad though. Everybody knows him as Screech. He was on the Saturday morning TV show Saved by the Bell. When I read that it was a Saturday morning show, I was like, wow. I mean, the days when things were innocent enough that everybody was home on a Saturday morning to watch a TV show. Okay. I never watched Saved by the Bell. That I was too old for some shit like that by the time it was coming out, by the time it was out. So I never watched it, but I knew who Screech was. Like, I knew the characters on the show. He played Screech for many years, and then they tried to go to college and that show didn't last. And then they tried to make another show. I think when he came back as a teacher or some shit, that didn't work. Screech in particular, that character had a hard time with his acting career afterwards because he felt like he was typecast, much like Urkel was. When you saw him, you saw Screech and nobody wanted to put him in anything serious or just anything because they didn't want to associate their project with Saved by the Bell. So he got, bitter and he went through some troublesome times and, there was a sex tape he released and he released a tell-all book and alienated himself away from the cast. You know, he said that they were doing drugs and having sex, which, I mean, wouldn't be super surprising considering that they were kids, you know, and I mean, not so much the drugs, but the sex part, like they're teenage kids around each other all the time. Like that part wouldn't be surprising, but they're saying that a lot of the shit that he said was not necessarily true, or, you know, that he exaggerated and all that. Anyway, they didn't want nothing to do with him. So he's had a difficult time in his adulthood. He was alienated from the cast. They didn't really want anything to do with him. You know, he started doing all kind of other things. He was on all these reality shows and celebrity boxing and Big Brother and all this, and just kind of, you know, I think he was just trying to get in where he could fit in, make some money, because obviously acting wasn't going to do it, but probably had some regrets in his life. And then for him to get sick so suddenly, and then died, yeah, it's sort of a tragic, sad story. So he wasn't married. He didn't have any children. He really is only survived by his father. His mother and his brother both preceded him in death. So it's just his father left now. He was 44 years old. Rest in peace to Dustin Diamond. Okay, you guys, so Todd Chrisley, I don't know who this is, because I just told you guys that I don't watch all these reality shows. Okay, but there's a show evidently called Chrisley Knows Best, and I hope I'm saying his name right. I'm sure you guys will let me know if I'm not, but it looked like it's Chrisley. Maybe, yeah, it's not Chrisley. It's Chrisley, I believe. There's a reality show, I guess, with this family, the Chrisley family, and there is a little girl that is on the show, 9 years old. She is the granddaughter of Todd and his wife, and she is biracial. She is the daughter of their estranged son, Kyle. And I'm not sure why they're estranged or anything. You guys, I'm just telling you this story because somebody asked me to talk about it. The granddaughter, her name is Chloe. They take care of the granddaughter. And evidently, viewers that have watched the show have had problems with the fact that this girl is a little black girl on the show. Okay. Now, Todd has come out and said that if anybody knows him, they know that he is not going to stand for anybody coming for him or his family, including his little granddaughter. Now, the child is 9 years old. I just don't understand. What is the problem with people? Folks is fucking crazy. What are they saying about this little girl? What could she be doing that done got on y'all nerves that bad that you actually have to say something? You know, people ain't, you know, so they talking about this little biracial, this little black girl that's in the background. And he said that he's not going to stand for it. That this is his granddaughter. He loves her. She's going to be on the show. They're not going to take her off, you know, because this is the real world and they're going to do their best to prepare her. But they don't let her see social media. She doesn't know how people feel about her and the bad things that I think in general, people, you know, support him and, you know, the fact that he's taking care of the granddaughter. But there's always the few that's got to say something. And those few usually are the ones that get noticed. And so this is where we are with that story. Okay. But he says, no, she's going to continue to be on the show because she's a part of their family and the family is on the show. And while they shelter her while she's young, they are also doing their best to prepare her for, you know, what is to come in her life in the future. That this is something that is new to them. They didn't deal with racism because they were privileged. And, you know, now that they see it firsthand, now they kind of see what us black people been talking about. Okay. Maybe not fully, but enough to finally recognize that maybe they need to do things a little differently. That's the story on old Todd Chrisley. I think that's his name. All right, you guys, next story up. Let's talk about old CourtsideKaren, you guys, that was out here wilding in Atlanta the other day as she sat on the floor, on the sidelines, if you will, of the Atlanta Hawks Los Angeles Lakers game. She is a season ticket holder, I believe. And so her husband had paid a lot of money for them to be seated on the floor there to watch the game. Evidently, her husband is a spirited fan of the Hawks and makes it a habit, I guess, to get into a back and forth with the players or, you know, whoever is somebody that is opposing his team. And these are just kind of the things that men play, the games that men play at these games. Well, evidently, her husband got into a back and forth with LeBron, and she saw it upon herself that she needed to jump in and protect her husband. Her name is Juliana Carlos, and she was giving LeBron the business because he had said something, you know, off color to her husband, and she didn't like that. And as the wife, who believes very strongly in her husband, she felt that she needed to take up for him. It wasn't just a quick back and forth, though. It went on and on where it interrupted the game, and it got so loud that finally officials got her and her husband ejected. And she was very, very upset about it. And she made many videos afterwards saying how she don't give a fuck who LeBron James is. She would kick his ass if he gonna talk to her husband like that. You know, that it was ridiculous that she got put out of the game. You know, she's supporting her husband. She's not gonna let anybody talk crazy to her husband, and blopty blopty blue. Okay, ride or die for her husband. All right. And you can debate whether or not, you know, you thought that she was cool doing what she did. You know, that's a wife and she's supposed to be there for the husband. Oh, listen, the man was at a game. They argued back and forth. You took it over and beyond being about it for your husband. I mean, some people will do that, but it probably would have very easily died down if you would have just been like, oh, fuck you, LeBron, and sat your ass back down. But, you know, this back and forth and all of that, even if she was 100% right in what she did, I mean, you're going up against LeBron James, who has a league of fans, people that are going to come after you. You know, do you want that kind of heat in your life? You know, she acted like she did at first because she was making all these videos, but they finally wore her down. Like I knew that they would. Eventually she did apologize, but she wanted to explain that she's just trying to be supportive of her husband. But yeah, it's just sort of like, girl, just let these men play these fucking games and argue with each other, and you sit there and be cute. Okay, 25 years old. I mean, that's debatable, but, you know, you guys tell me what you think. Like, are you going to sit up there and really be ride or die for your husband for something that's not serious? Like, I understand when you got to be supportive of your man because I'm telling you, it's just what it calls for that day. Okay. But we had a basketball game, and in the grand scheme of things, who the fuck cares? Like, you know, is it that serious where you had to do it like that on that day? Y'all tell me what you think about old Juliana Carlos. Do you think she was justified in her reaction, or do you think she just went a little too far?